It's safe to say conservative women in 2017 haven't been treated.
That dumpster, smoky-eyed raccoon, White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Fairly. Conservative women were constantly attacked by quote-unquote tolerant individuals
who proudly self-identify as feminists.
My name is Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd is here.
I am a feminist.
Thanks to all the hypocrisy on display in 2017,
we've decided to honor the most problematic women of the year.
Number 5, Melania and Ivanka Trump.
Throughout the year, feminists repeatedly attacked Ivanka and Melania for their fashion choices.
It can be dangerous to comment on what women wear, but the fact that she sat in for her father in a dress that was so incredibly ornamental was such a contradiction.
During her trips overseas, Ivanka made an extra effort to wear clothing inspired by the cultures of the countries she was visiting.
But liberals deemed her outfits too triggering for exhibiting cultural appropriation.
To put it simply, their presence in Washington is not welcome.
And his daughter, who came to Washington to work for the president and develop a platform for women, go home. Go home.
Number 4, Betsy DeVos.
Thank you so very, very much for this great honor and privilege.
Daring to stand up for school choice and due process for students accused of sexual assault.
There might not be a more hated woman in Washington than Betsy DeVos.
It appeared she couldn't even get Halloween right when feminists lost their cool over her decision to dress up as Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus.
Despite devoting nearly 3 decades of her life to education policy, DeVos was accused of not being qualified for her job.
I don't know anything about school.
Betsy, the camera's behind you. Betsy, don't eat the pamphlet. No, Betsy, no.
Number 3, the women of Fox News.
Law degrees, Ivy Leagues, and journalism awards apparently don't cut it. The left attacked the women of Fox News relentlessly for their looks.
David Horsey, a Pulitzer Prize winner and LA Times columnist, wrote much like Roger Ailes when he was stalking the Fox News lineup with blonde Barbie dolls and short, tight skirts. The president has generally exhibited a preference for sleek beauties with long legs and stiletto heels to represent his interests and act as his arm candy.
Horsey was later shamed into apologizing, but that didn't stop current and former Fox News anchors from calling him out.
Our success is not about hair color or skirts. It is about elbow grease, dedication, and sacrificing time with our families and friends.
Does he mean Leah Gabriel, who fought as a Navy fighter pilot for our country in Afghanistan before becoming a Fox News personality? Melissa Francis, who graduated with an economics degree from Harvard? Catherine Herridge, who has a Stanford and Harvard degree and gave part of her liver to her sick infant child? To me, these are not blonde Barbie dolls.
The appearance of these anchors at Fox News was so problematic, in fact, that feminists this year proclaimed blonde privilege a real thing.
Writing in New York Magazine, fashion director Amy LaRocca said Fox News and Donald Trump have given blonde hair a new chapter. Now, blonde is the color of the right, for whom whiteness has become a hallmark.
And finally, in the rare occasion that these smart, successful women weren't called out for their looks, their voices were sometimes outright ignored.
Number 2, Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Perhaps no single person was more problematic in 2017 than White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
If you're a White House press secretary, being criticized is part of the territory.
But what's not part of the territory were the routine and over-the-top body-shaming attacks by women who claim they're woke.
Well, you're also shaped like a baby, so congratulations.
I know what you guys were thinking. She's only 35. I get it. I got my dad's old face.
Get this, Melania and Ivanka's sense of style is often deemed as too out of touch.
But when Sanders dares to wear brands like Ann Taylor, she gets slammed for being too relatable.
Topping it off, at the end of the year, Sanders was asked by a male White House correspondent if she had ever had a hashtag #MeToo moment.
Have you ever been sexually harassed, and do you understand, and I'm not saying by the president, I'm saying ever, and secondly, do you have an empathy for those who come forward, because it's very difficult?
Because she couldn't possibly empathize with victims of sexual assault without having experienced it herself.
Number 1, you and all the women who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. Conservative women this year were intimidated.
Just remember, there's a special place in hell for women who don't help each other.
Bullied and outright attacked.
Hillary Clinton said women supporting Trump are publicly disrespecting themselves.
When I see women doing that, I think, why are they publicly disrespecting themselves?
And then there's the infamous line from former First Lady Michelle Obama.
During a question and answer session at a conference in Boston, the former First Lady said, quote, "Any woman who voted against Hillary Clinton voted against their own voice."
So much for.
When they go low, we go high.
2017 was a rough time for women who dared to think for themselves.
But in truth, there's something empowering about being a problematic woman.
Here's to hoping that in the new year, feminists will realize their own hypocrisy and treat independent women with the respect and dignity that they deserve.
Until then, cheers to being problematic.